This is Tom with your fishing report from the Northeast. At the time of this recording, Cumberland Lake water levels are still high and temperatures are in the upper 40s to low 50s. The lake is very turbid and several boat ramps remain closed due to high water. With all of that, muskie are starting to rock and roll up on the lake, and you'll be hopping from drain to drain to catch these fish. Typically, you'll see the male fish in the backs of the coves first, while the bigger females are staging on the outside. Bass and crappie remain slow on Cave Run due to low water temperatures. Grayson is at normal pool levels and clarity is good. Temperatures are in the middle 50s. The crappie bite is excellent right now. Rely on your graph to find schools of fish suspended along the channel. Minnows and jigs should do the trick. Similarly, bass are staging deeper but still along that channel. For both Cave Run and Grayson report, keep in mind that the conditions are constantly changing, so the current situation might be slightly different than it was at the time of this recording. Trout have been stocked this week in the Red River Gorge area. East Fork of Indian Creek and Middle Fork of Red River are now open to harvest. Swift Camp Creek remains closed. I hope this helps get you some more fish in the boat. Don't forget that you can follow our district on Facebook for more up-to-date information and keep up with what we're doing. Our location is Northeastern Kentucky Fisheries. Wherever you go, good luck and stay safe.
This is Marcy Anderson with the Fishing Report for Southeast Kentucky. On Lake Cumberland, water levels are at normal summer pool and they are no longer releasing water from the spillways. Water temperatures are running in the mid-50s and the warming water has really turned on the bite. Largemouth bass are up in the creeks and anglers have been having success using jigs and spinner baits. Main Lake points are good bets for smallmouth bass right now using jigs. On the Cumberland tailwater, flows are coming down, which will finally allow some opportunities to fish in the tailwater. Kendall Ramp remains closed and several other ramps in the tailwater have a lot of mud on them, so use caution if you are launching. On Dale Hollow Lake, water temperatures are in the low 50s. Target Main Lake points and flats in 10 to 20 feet of water using crankbaits, jigs, and jerkbaits to pick up some quality smallmouth bass. Anglers have been picking up largemouth bass in the creeks hanging in the shallow cover using crankbaits and spinnerbaits, so good luck and good fishing.
This is Rob Rold in the Northwestern Fishery District with an update on our area lakes. Rough River Lake is still 5 feet over summer pool and they're pulling it pretty hard to try to get it back down to meet the curve. Nolin, they finally did meet the curve, so a couple of days ago they quit pulling it hard, and now it's on a slow rise back up to summer pool. It's coming up somewhere around 6 inches a day. But now that things have stabilized at Nolin, crappie have been doing really well on jigs, grubs, and minnows. Up in the creeks, and some good creeks to try would be Barton's Run, Dog Creek, as well as Rock Creek. Also been catching several bass on jigs, spinner baits, and crankbaits on the points, as well as up in the creeks. And late last week and over the weekend, saw several big fish come out of some brush piles that have been in the upper end of some of the creeks. Walleye they've spawned and they're heading back downriver, back into the lake, but they're still catching several from the Bacon Creek area up to Wheeler's Mill. White bass are just starting to get really good, and they're catching several white bass from the Cane Run area up to Wheeler's Mill. And the white bass should only pick up in the next few days to a week or so as the water levels have stabilized and warmed up just a shade more. Like I said, Rough River Lake is still somewhere around 5-6 feet over summer pool. They're pulling it pretty hard to try to get it down to where they'll meet their curve where they bring it back up to summer pool. Things have not been quite as good at Rough. Fishing's been a little bit slower, and that's because the water's falling. Fish are not holding in any main area or any one area. Our smaller impoundments also warming up nicely. Saw several nice bass out of Lake Malone last week. Catching them on spinnerbaits, jigs, as well as Alabama rigs. Carpenter Lake, Mauzee Lake, both have been doing well on bass. Peabody WMA, been catching several bass out of South Lake, as well as catching crappie in several of the smaller pits, especially those near the river. Finn's Lakes have been stocked with the last stocking of trout a few weeks ago, as well as the first stocking of catfish a couple of weeks ago. So kind of got both species in there, and anglers been doing well at all of our Finn's Lakes. Ohio River is coming up pretty quickly from this last bit of rain, so not a lot of activity there, and that's pretty much the same for Green River as well. That's an update from the Northwestern Fishery District. Please remember, be safe on the water, always wear your life jackets.